Anything Cricket, Let's Talk is brought to you by Rascals Barbados, My Kind of Beauty, and the Calvary Institute. Rascals Barbados. Let us serve you in a relaxed atmosphere with complimentary Wi-Fi or try a takeout meal. Rascals on the Mighty Griner Highway. Call 538-9990. For expert tuition, call the Calvary Institute. We offer classes at primary and secondary level. Our adult programs include floral arranging, jewelry making, crochet, knitting, sewing, photography, conversational Spanish, and more. Check out our summer special in video editing. Phone 232-2109. The Calvary Institute in Wilmot Street.
Healing, nourishing, restoring. Amazing products, essential to provide healthy skin. My kind of beauty. Let it be yours.
Welcome to Anything Cricket, Let's Talk, coming to you from the studios of the Caribbean Media Corporation, Bridgetown, Barbados. Today, I'll be joined by Wayne Holder and Martin Parris. Our special guest is Kavem Hodge. You'll hear a bit more from CWI Director Enoch Lewis. All that and more when we come back on Anything Cricket, Let's Talk. Rascals Barbados. Let us serve you in a relaxed atmosphere with complimentary Wi-Fi or try a takeout meal. Rascals on the Mighty Griner Highway. Call 538-9990. Well, the World Cup is over. Congratulations to first-time champions, England.
Probably the best 2 months of my life to date.
Sum up how you're feeling, how it feels to have that medal around your neck?
Probably hasn't sunken in as well. Had a bit of emotion on the field right after, but for now I don't think it's sunken in as yet. Probably when you get to the dressing room with the guys jumping around maybe, but for now I'm just glad that they actually came out on the winning side.
And the captain put a lot of faith in you to send you back out there for that final over.
Yeah, he didn't even come to me. Like I had to ask him if it was me that was bowling it. Yeah, I think a lot of the other players told me that I got this even before he came. So I think everyone was probably looking for me to do it anyway.
And what was the atmosphere like amongst the group just after you won?
It's hard to think, hard to remember. I just know that everyone was running, jumping, screaming, throwing stuff. So yeah, I think the boys really deserved it today. You know, we held in there even though probably didn't look like we were going to win in the last 2 or 3 overs. But I'm really proud of the boys for still sticking at it.
Joffrey, you've come into this team from outside and you've done brilliantly. You look really calm there under all that pressure. How big a role has Owen Morgan played in helping you fit in so quickly and smooth?
Well, he was always really calm captain for the whole tournament, but even today, even after they went for the 6, a lot of captains probably would have had their hands on the head or pacing up and down or head down. But he never dropped. He never did anything bad. I think he was even more confident after that, which is what you need, especially with the task so nervy. A lot was on the line, and sometimes emotions can come into it. But he was calm right throughout.
In 4 years in the making, can you sum up what this means to you and to English cricket?
To me and to the team and everybody who's been involved over the last 4 years, it means absolutely everything. And the planning, the hard work, the dedication, the commitment, and the little bit of luck today really did get us over the line. It's been an absolutely incredible journey. To everybody around the country and around the world who has followed us and supported us, thank you so much. It's been phenomenal. Right from the very beginning of the tournament, all the way through, regardless of our performance, people believed because we believed. And I'm very thankful for that, and everybody is as well.
What do you think, what do you hope that game will have done for the legacy in terms of English cricket in this country, participation?
I certainly hope participation levels go up or continue to rise. I think the nature in which the game was played today was absolutely outstanding. I commend the Black Caps and Kane. They've been absolutely incredible, hugely admirable team, the spirit, the way they play, the fight they show, and the fact that they've done it for an extremely long time. We're only newcomers to this, and we want to be as consistent as them come the next World Cup with aspirations like that. But to get over the line reaffirms everything that we've done over the last 4 years and justifies it as well.
Do you feel quite emotional?
I did earlier, yes. I did. I still can't quite believe, that's why I'm carrying it around as much as I can. I can't quite believe that we've got over the line. It's been an extraordinary day. You guys watching, like, the most incredible game of cricket with nothing between the sides. So, you know, sport sometimes is very, very fine margins. I think it was the finest of margins today, and it could have gone either way, but I'm thankful it went ours.
Wayne, it has been 6 weeks of compelling action. What are your takeaways?
Preparation, preparation, preparation. We have noticed that the teams who were prepared, and let's use England as an example, their planning started as soon as the 2015 tournament was completed. And we can see how they have benefited from that. So I'm saying again, preparation, preparation, preparation.
Well, I suppose in the case of New Zealand, you'll have to say consistency. And again, showing that even although they're not a Cinderella team, so to speak, a team that has performed consistently well in this particular global competition.
For the West Indies, the rebuilding process has to start right now. I think priority number one is to improve our ranking and get back into a position where we would not have to endure the ignominy of having to qualify for a World Cup.
And I can tell you that my takeaway, and it's all part of what you're talking about, preparation, I believe that the secret to the West Indies returning to a competitive force in ODI cricket is to build the ODI side around the nucleus of the Test team. I think the policy of what people call bits and pieces cricketer has not worked. The policy of packing the side with power hitters has been a failure. And I believe we have to get our best batsmen and our best bowlers as the nucleus of the one-day international side moving forward.
Although I would suggest there is a place in ODI cricket for the so-called T20 specialists and those bits and pieces that you speak of. I think we here in the West Indies have taken it a bit too far, and with too much emphasis on those players rather than looking to get the mix just right with the inclusion of those steadier players who would have had their grounding in the longer version.
I agree with you. I'm not suggesting that we totally eliminate the power hitters, but I really don't think that you need more than one or two in any given 11. If you look at the just completed World Cup, if you would use players like Craig Braffett, for example, and I'm going to go to the extreme because he's probably one of the slowest scoring players, slowest strike rate among our test players. The scores that we were chasing that beat us in could have been achieved with a Craig Braffett approach and mentality. We weren't giving up scores of 350 and 375 and 400. We were beaten chasing scores under 300. We were normal batting and rotating the strike would have been most likely effective.
And what I would have observed, you talk of power hitters, but the most successful batsmen in the 2019 tournament were the stroke players at the top of the order. Aggressive, yes, but stroke players and batsmen who depend on technical skills more so than power. And so even the Craig Braffett type player, though he has a part, again, you don't want to go that far west to have too many of those players.
Oh no, you certainly don't need too many.
I'm thinking along.
And I'm not even suggesting that Craig Braffett has to play. But I'm saying that in the context of the World Cup that has just been completed, he would not have been a liability in the side.
We're talking about the type player, yes, but I'm going down the lines of the Virat Kohli. He's not a batsman who's a power hitter, but you can't keep him quiet either. Oh, and another area that I think West Indies would need to improve vastly in, running between the wickets. The importance of running the ones, running the twos, running the threes, rather than sitting back and concentrating on the big boundaries, the fours and the sixes.
And as we look forward to the next World Cup win, I think a word for those who are the decision makers. We've got to have confidence in our best players and give them time to adapt. I think it's really pointless putting a Roston Chase, for example, in a one-day international side, and if he doesn't get a big score after 3 or 4 games, you drop him. Is Roston Chase one of the leading batsmen in the West Indies, or isn't he? If he is, he will adapt to the one-day international format. You've just got to give him time.
Agreed.
Rascals Barbados. Let us serve you in a relaxed atmosphere with complimentary Wi-Fi or try a takeout meal. Rascals on the Mighty Griner Highway. Call 538-9990.
We have the pleasure of welcoming Kavem Hodge to Anything Cricket. Let's talk. Welcome, Kavem.
Thank you very much.
For those who don't really know, Kavem and I go back to a brief stint in my career when I was a cricket umpire, and he was here for the West Indies under-19, and we've kept in contact ever since then, and I've noted his progress, and I'm proud to say you've been doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
Wayne, I'm sure you've been following him as well, and you'd love to grill him with a few questions for Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Well, no grilling involved here whatsoever. I would like to congratulate Kavem on the advances that he has made in his career. We all know he's now an established first-class player with the Windward Islands Volcanoes. He's also had experience with the West Indies representative sides at the various age group levels and also at the 18 level, and then before that with the CCC in regional competition. So here's congratulating him on those advances that he has made in his cricketing career, which seems to be going from strength to strength.
Yeah, Kevin, and apparently if we delve into your last season, can you tell us about some of the performances that you managed to accomplish last season?
Just a few of them would probably be, the 5 half centuries that I scored. It's just unfortunate that, my conversion was not where I wanted it to be. Obviously, a lot of batsmen score half centuries, but obviously to separate, the top players from the ordinary, you want to score centuries. So obviously, moving on to next season, that's something that I'm looking to, to improve on. Also, taking 30 wickets, which was the second most for the Volcanoes, was a big achievement for me. It was really unfortunate that Shane got banned halfway through the season, so it really meant that I had to step up with the ball, and I was quite satisfied with what I was able to achieve.
Well, because I was hearing you talking about your batting exploits, but we know that you have the all-round ability with the slow bowling, and you're not a slouch in the field either.
Yeah, fielding is something that I really enjoy. So last season I really took to the gully position, and I tried my best to make it my own. So it worked out pretty well. I took most of the catches that came there. So just look to improve there and help out as much as I can in the outfield.
And Wayne was telling me that you just recently returned from our West Indies training camp.
Yeah, it was a high-performance camp, basically, with the coaches around. It was held by some of the top coaches in the Caribbean. So there was a coach for each aspect. So we had Andre Coley was the fielding coach, Andrew Richardson was the bowling coach, and Graham West and Crandon was dealing with the batting, and then we had Gregory Seal, who was dealing with the strength and conditioning aspect of the coaching.
Well, you don't look much worn out from a camp that seemed to be very comprehensive. How was it really? You told me about the aspects, but what was it like?
Well, to be honest, I've been back a couple of weeks now, but it was really intense. They really tried to, work on a lot of specific stuff within those 2 weeks. But basically, it was just to get a general idea of where we are, our strengths, our weaknesses. Before the camps actually started, we had a one-to-one with each of the coaches, just trying to figure out, where we are, what we consider our strengths, our weaknesses, and, what are the ways or what are the objectives we look to achieve during the camp. And then they just worked around that. And, we had a couple of tests, as the camp went along, and then we had a couple of review sessions and stuff like that. But it was really good. For me personally, I didn't go into the camp with a specific goal saying, hey, I want to, be able to hit the ball like this or do this with the ball or stuff like that. For me, it was just about adding knowledge, general knowledge to what I already know. Which includes all 3 facets of the game: bowling, batting, fielding, just to improve my overall game. And it worked really well. I got a lot of information in the fielding, in my bowling, subtle variations, and ways that I can improve my physical condition. When it comes to strength and conditioning. So I walked away with a lot.
And as far as the various formats are concerned, was there any concentration though on exploiting your skills for the differing formats, or it was just a general cricket coaching setup?
No, I think it was focused more on red ball cricket. I think previously there was a camp for the emerging players that are going off to the CPL. So that was focused around white ball, but this camp was generally a red ball camp, on the longer version of the game.
Talking about the different formats, though, your exploits would suggest that you obviously would regard yourself as an all formats player.
Yeah, definitely. I think what I do, bowling and batting, I fall easily into each of these aspects. But generally, I prefer the longer version because I believe, that's where, you really test your skills mentally, physically, technique. And because if you look at international cricket, all the great T20 players, 50-over players, they're exceptional in Test cricket. So for me, that's where I look to make my aim. But wherever that I start, I'll accept gladly.
Well, we've also seen the emergence of a number of young, talented cricketers through the medium of the T20. Do you think that it is the perfect training ground, though, for young players?
I think, to be honest, anywhere that they can get a start into international cricket would be, beneficial. But what I realized that a lot of the international teams, that they're blooding their young players, from the shorter version into the longer version. Because I guess, they don't want to just throw them into the deep end, without having a taste of what international cricket. So most of the guys, have a taste of T20 cricket, then 50 over, and then, the really good ones, filter into Test cricket. So I guess there are various ways of doing it, but that's the format most of the teams are using.
And the skills employed, what are the differences though that you find? I guess in the longer version of the game, you look to spin the ball a lot more. Mm-hmm. You look to be more attacking. Mm-hmm. And in the T20 and the one-day game. I'm just imagining
Yeah.
that you may want to be a bit tighter than you would be to be more economical. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What are the different skills you would need to employ?
I think in the longer version, you have a bit more time. You can work out batsmen and, play mind games. Figure out, what it is strong at, what it is weak at, and, spend time working away at your craft. Like I said, spinning the ball is a very important thing to do. Whereas in T20 cricket, you try to be tight. You try to outthink the batsman one step ahead. Whereas in red ball cricket, you can be a bit more relaxed, be a bit more reactive. But in white ball cricket, you have to be proactive. You say, all right, this is what he's looking to do. All right, I'm going to try and do this instead, or limit his scoring from there. And just try and create pressure. I think it's all about creating pressure and keeping it simple, because you don't want to overcomplicate things. So you keep it simple, create pressure, and then hopefully the batsman makes a mistake.
And you have also been one of these spinners who has been trusted with the new ball quite a lot. The spin bowling and the new ball is becoming a feature of cricket nowadays. Have you specifically set out to develop your game around bowling the new ball?
No, actually. I think we were just at practice one day for you a couple years ago, and Floyd just decided, all right, RG, take up this new ball and just bowl wicket to wicket. Just don't leave the stump. But in doing that, obviously I developed holding the ball in a certain way that it would swing when I release it. So I just kept practicing that, and then it fell out well for the team. So it's just something that I kept on doing, and also it moved on into the CPL. It's something that worked well for me. Yeah.
How much of an impact and influence has Floyd Reefer, the current West Indies coach, been on your progress and career?
He's had a major influence. I think he's a person that instills confidence into you. I think he plays a lot of emphasis on the mental aspect of the game. Coming to you, I had a lot of talent. Obviously, that's one thing. But I wasn't, transforming, that talent into good performances. So, he recommended, hey, reading some books, being confident, stuff like that, motivating yourself. And that's something he does really well. He finds a way to motivate players, get inside their head and say, hey, come on, you should try this and, work at this. And, it's something that I took to, reading a lot of books and...
Stick a pin. You mean you weren't in a net, you weren't on the field, you actually did theoretical stuff, reading books about cricket?
Yeah, not only about cricket, but about the mental aspect of the game. Mental toughness, mental strength, motivation. Getting through tough situations. So I spend a lot of time in the nets, bowling, batting, and stuff, and also fielding in the outfield. But I think I got that edge. Paying a lot of attention to the mental aspect of it.
I'm going to ask the question: which came first, the studying or the cricket?
I think it was a balance. It was a tough balance, to be honest. Obviously, the schedule, is always something you have to pay a lot of attention to. So, for example, my daily routine or schedule would be like, we would have 6 gym at 6:30 in the morning or 7. I'm a morning person, so my gym sessions would be fairly early. And then from like 10 o'clock, we would have team sessions, 10 to like 12 team sessions, batting, bowling, fielding. And then most of my classes would be scheduled in the evening time. So obviously, you have to make time to, prepare and then get to class. And then, in the evening, you have studies, prepare for exams like any other student. But I think, to be honest, cricket took a lot of time, but obviously you had to make time for studies. And then obviously on weekends, you had cricket. So yeah, like I said, cricket takes a lot of time, but obviously you have to be aware that, hey, and also as a student athlete, we have to maintain a certain GPA. So if we fall below that, then, you run the risk of being evicted and stuff like that. So you have to maintain the grade point average that is required. So like I said, you still have to put in the work at school.
What is your course of study?
Kinesiology, sports science.
Yes, could you be a bit more explanatory for the average layman like myself?
Yeah, so it's basically the study of the body, human movement, but the degree itself entails a lot of different specifics, such as nutrition, human physiology, anatomy, and it also goes into the business aspect of sports marketing, sports management, and also sports psychology. So it's basically a broad, and it's all focused around sport. The degree is focused around sport. So a lot of this stuff that I did in the classroom, for example, like strength and conditioning, human physiology, and also nutrition, I could filter that directly into my game, so I learned something in the classroom, I say, oh, this is that, and I could, practice it, put it into my daily habits and stuff like that.
Life after cricket, how important do you see it as being preparing yourself for life after cricket and, of course, your area of study? Where could you see it leading you?
Yeah, that's something that's very important. I think obviously being at the university and balancing school and cricket at the same time, I think that's one of the things that prepare you for life after cricket. So, earlier I mentioned the schedule that we had. So I think, obviously, growing up, having your family, having your home, you have to deal with all these sort of things, work, family, you have to go out, pay bills, groceries, all these sort of things. So it just, it helps instill the discipline of managing your time. That's very important. Time management, being disciplined. Sometimes you might not feel to do something, but is what required at the moment. So obviously for me, using this degree, I'm looking to go into strength and conditioning, physiotherapy. So that's what I'm looking at. Well, obviously right now, I just want to have to go out, pay bills, groceries, all these sort of things. So it just, it helps instill the discipline of managing your time. That's very important. Time management, being disciplined. Sometimes you might not feel to do something, but is what required at the moment. So obviously for me, using this degree, I'm looking to go into strength and conditioning, physiotherapy. So that's what I'm looking at. Well, obviously right now, I just want to, get further into cricket and then, see where that leads.
Rascals Barbados. Let us serve you in a relaxed atmosphere with complimentary Wi-Fi or try a takeout meal. Rascals on the Mighty Grinder Highway. Call 538-9990. Welcome back. Last week we had a chat with Cricket West Indies director Enoch Lewis, who is also the chair of the cricket committee. Let's have a listen as he shares a few more thoughts with us. Some time ago, I heard a cricket administrator, a local cricket administrator, putting forward the view that cricket now is more about being able to produce players, even if we produce players for the leagues. And personally, I found that disturbing because I don't know if I'm just old school, but I am more excited by the idea of West Indies playing against England, Australia, or whoever, or even Barbados playing against Trinidad or something like that. Call me old-fashioned, but when you talk about the leagues, the T20 leagues that are going on all over the place, even when the team I'm supposed to be supporting loses, by the time I get to my car, I've really gotten over that.
Yeah. I mean, the leagues are a significant threat to cricket generally, I find, because if you don't have access to your best players, it means then that if all the players, for argument's sake, for example, from the better players from West Indies run off and play all the leagues, and the better players from Australia do it, or the better from when West Indies and England meet, then the spectators are not encouraged to come and see the best players, at the park. They're just not there. And so it affects your gate receipts, it affects the sport in terms of its overall growth, because young people who want to come out and see, they rush to superstars, they want to come and see the superstars that they want to be like when they grow up. And if they're none, then they're not so encouraged to come and watch the game. So it's important that there are sponsors who want their products out there as well. They want these players to be part of, their branding and so on. So it is very important. And our our obligation as franchises in the West Indies are to develop players firstly and foremost to represent the West Indies. If that player finds a lucrative deal somewhere across the world and can make some additional revenue, there's nothing wrong with that, because our various economies benefit from that, because it comes back to us, and families, you know, the families around you benefit, and also the business sector, because the money is spent in your economy. So there's nothing wrong with bringing in some from foreign exchange to the region. But also, we got to balance that against the fact that we need to ensure that cricket remains vibrant and a force in the Caribbean, a force that brings us together, and as a people allow us to hold our heads high around the world.
You spoke about the resources of the bigger countries as against the West Indies, a poor state in relation to the likes of the Indias and the Englands and whatever. Yeah. But in the area of technology, I think the use of technology and analytics to prepare players, to have players, to bring our players up to par, let's say, with these bigger countries. Do you see the need, first of all, and do you believe that we have used the technology to its utmost?
No, we certainly have not, and it's work in progress. It's available, it's work in progress. Firstly, you sensitize the players to the need for it. If you're selling me something, it has to be, you know, I have to understand the benefits before I buy into it. So, you know, they sell the benefits more and more. I had a discussion recently with one of my cricket committee members, and we're talking about marrying the on-field play with technology, the analytics and so on, so that coaches and players understand the importance of it. Firstly, you got to get it to the coaches that it is critical, it's important. It plays a major role in terms of the development, because you would find some coaches, you know, they shy away from it. It's not something that, it's something new, not something they're accustomed to, and it's something that they quite understand. And so the idea is to shy away from it. But we're trying to get a marriage where we have the coaches, maybe, you know, and the analytics people in one room, right? So we can ask questions of each other and get a better understanding and get, you know, create some synergies so that the coaches can then actually speak to the analytic people. Because in some cases, you know, some of these guys are actual scientists that actually get involved in dealing with these numbers. So they can have that conversation, and you create some one-on-one relationship so that you can communicate. You can then speak directly to on a one-on-one basis to somebody who understands it better than you do, and speak to the importance of it as part of the development of cricket generally in the Caribbean. Get especially our under 15 or under 19 or, you know, under 17 or 19 players accustomed to it. Get them engaged so that becomes part and parcel of their development. We're going to be looking at that, because I expect this to play a more significant role as it is doing with the other teams going forward.
Thanks very much to Enoch Lewis, Cricket West Indies Director and Chairman of the Committee on Cricket. Rascals Barbados. Let us serve you in a relaxed atmosphere with complimentary Wi-Fi, or try a takeout meal. Rascals on the Mighty Griner Highway. Call 538-9990.
Healing, nourishing, restoring. Amazing products, essential to provide healthy skin. My kind of beauty. Let it be yours.
That's our show. Join us again soon for another episode of Anything Cricket, Let's Talk.